All right, it's fight week here in Newcastle. Tszyu, Joey Spencer, here with the great Brendan Bradford. Brendan, it's good to be in Newcastle. It's a bit of a interesting build-up, this one.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's been a while. I think it was Nikita's fight with Dylan Biggs here. So it's been over a year. Always like coming back to Newcastle. I think we both sort of, not started out, but we both sort of kicked on when Tim fought here twice in 2021. That was,
Yes.
saying the other day that was when then when I was at Sporting News at the time. It's when we really sort of dived into boxing. So it's good to be back. It's good vibes. I've only been here a couple of hours in Newcastle, but yeah, good vibes this week so far.
What have we made of this build-up? It's been interesting. At times it's been tedious, but it's cool.
It's been there's been a lot more just focus on the fight, on this fight. And you know as well as anyone, in Orlando last year and in Vegas earlier last year, it was a lot of the build-up and a lot of the narrative was, Tim's going to fight Crawford or Errol Spence or Canelo, and what kind of money is he going to make and where's he going to headline. This one, it feels like we're just focusing on Joey Spence. Everyone seems to have learned their lesson, especially Tim. And I think I wrote a month or two ago that he'd banned the rest of his team from talking about any other fights but this one. So it is a little bit of a throwback as well in that sense.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I haven't seen Tszyu so animated than he was today. It was very interesting to see him that fiery.
Yeah, and I didn't expect that from Joey Spencer. He's been sort of cool, quite mild-mannered, very respectful. I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago, and just a nice guy. And then fight week hits, and him and his dad are both going at it. You see his dad after.
Yeah,
they had the face off. Tim and Joey with George, and then they said, "Oh, George, can you just sort of step out of the way?" And Jason Spencer, Joey's dad, jumps up. And he's going, "No, we can't have two dogs like that on stage." As if they were going to punch on at the.
because I saw him having
presser.
a chat afterwards as well. He was fired up too. He's been fired up all week.
He's
dad.
He's the attack dog of the team. He's been going at everyone. He called No Limit a bunch of amateurs because they didn't have anyone there. He wanted security at the face off. So yeah, he's really pushing it this week.
I think Joey raised the mental demons or the head noises or the confusion from Tszyu.
Oh, that was your question, wasn't it?
That was my question. I was quite happy,
good,
but
I used those quotes too. Yeah.
I did. But it's interesting because I actually think that Tszyu's just trying to confuse Joey a little bit. I mean, he's steadfast in what he's going to do, but he's just saying, "Oh, I'm going to come out and knock you out in round one, and then I'm going to box." And then, that's what I think it is.
Yeah. And like, you wouldn't reveal your game plan, would you? So just put it all out there. But it all sort of came down to that, the judging, the officiating thing. Who's telling who? I'm as confused as anyone. I'm a little bit over this story, I'll be honest with you.
I know.
But we have a judge from America, one from New Zealand, and the great Adam Height from Australia. These are the three judges.
Who's the... I had it here.
Ioana Schwalger?
Chris Condon.
Chris Condon, referee.
As ref.
Veteran referee, great referee. He did...
That's the same guy with the drama with the Jeff Horn fight, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Townsville, yeah. He's not part of the camp.
Not part of our team, yeah. Chris Condon was never in our team. I want a rebuttal to something that Glenn Rushton has said.
You can't... Look, Chris Condon is a veteran referee, very well respected. You can't... You don't question Chris Condon. Did he do Jarvis Thurman as well?
He did, I think.
Yeah. So he's the referee. Yeah, what's the next drama? Is it going to be a glove drama tomorrow? Is it going to be a scales drama or a weight drama?
I'm curious to see about weight because Joey Spencer, he rocked up in the beanie and you were building up that yarn like it was the greatest controversy in boxing history. Spencer maybe struggling to make weight, but it will be interesting. And also the other thing is Tim's last fight, I know I overheard him saying that the IBF rehydration clause was an issue for him. So,
So Joey Spencer's last three fights have been at middleweight. Since the Ramos loss in 23, he's fought at middleweight. This is his first fight back at 54 in over 2 years, I think, or maybe it's just 2 years. That is, I think that is significant. And when he came into the weigh-ins, to the workouts the other day, and his hoodie, tracksuit pants, beanie, didn't hit anything. He just shadow boxed for 7 minutes. A few people were saying he looked drained. He was sitting in the corner before the workout. Not saying he's not going to make it. I'm just saying that he's going to do it. It looks like he's doing it tough. This is the great Steve Pao. We're going to have to. You blanked Steve the other day.
I'll answer him on air. Stevie, you're on air. It's been recorded. Me and Brendan are doing a podcast preview of the fight. You're on air. What have you got to say, great man?
Well, gentlemen, I called at the perfect time just to jump in on this podcast and say the journalism from you two have been absolutely outstanding, boys. This podcast is going to be brilliant when it goes out on air. Wonderful work at the press conference today, boys. Just been watching your videos, chuckling at Brendan Bradford's Martin lookalike there from the side of the ring with Brandon Grach. Fantastic, boys. Keep up the good work, keep recording, and give us a call back a little bit later.
The newspaper's own Steve Pao. I've seen him in print today.
Well, listen, I was published by the once great Brendan Bradford, still great, the legendary Brendan Bradford on many occasions, to which I'm extremely grateful, and looking forward to many more publications from the great man Brendan Bradford, and interviews on the great channel of Jay McAllister, two of the legends of the boxing business.
When do you get in, mate?
To Newey tomorrow night, mate. I'll be in at around about 10 o'clock in the evening, so looking forward to it, mate.
That's a quick
Ready for
turnaround.
a big sleep, early start, and good to go.
We'll see you then, mate. The one, the only, Stevie P.
See you, mate.
Look forward to it, gents. Keep up the great work.
See you,
Talk to
mate.
very soon.
See you, mate.
You might have to share the photo where you blanked Steve the other day. I caught you blanking him to get those Nikita Tszyu views.
That's an iconic photo, that one. But yeah, I'm also keen to see how long Tszyu can stay at this weight, because I remember talking to him about a year ago and he was saying that he's only got about 3 or 4 more fights at this weight and then he'll look to go to middleweight. But obviously losing the belts, it's changed things. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But I was just about to mention before the great man gave his call that Spencer last 3 fights at middleweight, coming back down, that is an issue. I think that's an issue. He's not going to miss weight. I think he'll make it. But when you come back down for the first time in a while, it's a thing. And then, like I think you touched on there, IBF belt on the line in Orlando, second day weigh-in or same by day weigh-in. I think Tim told me in December, he probably told you when we spoke to him for the first time since Orlando, that he usually puts on. Now I forget the weight, the exact how much he puts on, but he could only put on about half of what he usually puts on in Orlando, and that was an issue. That by fight day, by fight night, he felt it. He felt a lot different. So this time around, no IBF second day weigh-in. He'll go back to that full sort of big size, and I do think that the weight's an issue.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And then there's also Mark Gamman's back in the team. You had that good article out earlier this week. He's back. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, and I think I spoke to him, and he hasn't worked Tim's corner since the Fundora fight. Obviously, and look, you could sort of understand people going in and critiquing him and the team, whatever, but you weren't going to stop that cut in the fight with the tools that he had. Like, there was just no way. It was too big. Tim got 10 stitches right after the fight and was still bleeding out during the press conference. And then Mark had emergency appendectomy, I think, on the Tuesday before the Buckram fight. Couldn't fly to Orlando. So he's back, and I think it's just, more than anything, it's just sort of a familiarity. Tim had Igor, Nikita, and then the 2 guys from Split T in the corner in Orlando. Just things are off. Things weren't the same. Everything was off that week. But, it's a return to what he knows, a return to familiarity. I know Mark's that keen. He had his bag packed, I think, on Monday. All his things ready to practice. He double checking, triple checking. So he's pumped. It's a bit of a comeback for him too. It's
plenty of adrenaline.
Yeah. It's 10 extra bottles. One of the enduring moments for me of that Fundora fight was after sort of round 6 or 7. Dr. Bill sprinting backstage to, I assume, go get adrenaline or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think I wrote at the time that he might be looking for adrenaline. He's going to have to find a miracle because there's no way you're stopping the cut.
Yeah, and that was the change of it all. But I'm curious, and I really want to see Tim go back to that pre-Fondora style he had. That Mendoza style, the Harrison. Gachet sort of had that style. He fought Gachet similar to he fought Buckram. Come forward for I think Tim works best when he boxes smart and boxes early.
Yeah, and I rewatched the Mendoza fight for the first time in ages.
Yeah.
The other day, and pardon me, he did look good. He did look. I've just slammed the room service pizza.
Have you?
Next door, I was so hungry.
Must be nice.
I haven't.
Must be
eaten.
nice on that News Corp dollar.
Oh, I'm going to put it to no limit, I reckon. They'll be getting an invoice. No, I was that hungry. I couldn't concentrate. So I had a little pizza.
What were we talking about?
Mendoza fight.
Oh, yeah.
Tim, I thought, that is almost the template, for Tim Tszyu performance, and I think I've heard you say a couple of times this week, in interviews and on various chats that we've had. It takes a couple of rounds. He does take a couple of rounds. He'll just to suss a guy out. Harrison jabbed him a lot in the first couple of rounds.
Exactly.
Mendoza thought he had some success in the first couple of rounds, and then Tim Tszyu just comes on. I wonder if we'll see that, or I wonder if he wants to go on and make a statement.
Well, also it's a 10-round fight as well, so he can't wait too long.
Yeah.
So he's got to. That's the other talking point I might bring up with someone at some point.
Yeah.
Is it's a 10-round fight. You give up 2 rounds in that first 5 rounds, then you're chasing your tail.
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
What was the last 10 rounder, Tim?
It would have been Bowen Morgan or Dennis Hogan. Maybe it was Dennis. Yeah, it was in a way. So that's 21. 20,
November.
4 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was Gachet? We're obviously up to date with our stats and our figures.
Gachet was a 12-rounder.
That was 12.
But the thing is, even if you don't go 12 rounds, still in your mindset and your game plan, you're thinking about the 12 rounds. So I reckon that's a key point.
Yeah. And obviously, the Gachet fight night. Brian Mendoza was in a swing bout after the main event. Bakram Murtazaliev was on the undercard.
Yeah.
And Joey Spencer was also on the undercard.
Yeah.
And all these blokes have sort of fought each other. I don't know if there's any other guys that they can pull out from that fight night in Minnesota or wherever it was. But
oh, man.
I
didn't go to that one. But where do you see, ideal world, Tim Tszyu gets to win this weekend. What do you think's next? Thurman? And then does he look for that Fondora rematch if he gets past Thurman? Where do you see Tim Tszyu's path?
Yeah, if he wins this weekend, I think Thurman. Everyone sort of said that's signed. It's almost a done deal. I did wonder for a little while whether Keith Thurman gets a good win against Brock Jarvis. Sort of proved he's still got it. Maybe he gets a better offer back in the States, and maybe there's talk of Errol Spence or who else was there? Maybe even Virgil Ortiz. I'm not sure. Charlo coming back. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, if it gets through this, not injured, nothing to worry about. Gold Coast in July, Tszyu Thurman, that makes all the sense in the world. Fundora defended the 2 belts. What's that going to be? 2 weeks ago now, I think.
Yes.
Maybe a week and a half. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I know Bakram put his hand up for that fight, but I mean, if they've got nothing doing by the end of this year, I think that's the rematch that makes sense.
Exactly, and it sells in Australia as well.
Yeah,
or anywhere.
You probably go over there and fight him, but it'll sell here.
Yeah,
and then Charlo's back. I don't want to get caught into going too far ahead.
Again, mate. How dare you?
Twice.
How dare you?
Twice.
But it gives us something to be invested in and look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because otherwise, there's nothing on the line. You know.
And Tim sort of said today at the presser, not for the first time, but for the first time, forcefully, like he said it today. Like, this is my comeback. This is my retribution.
Yeah,
You're just a part of that.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to where I was.
Yeah.
And this is just the first step.
Yeah.
Go back to Vegas by the end of the year.
Now, just last one. Give us an insight into what it's like on the circuit, because we love these boxing trips. We're staying in a nice hotel, Newcastle Beach over there.
I was told I was going to have a beachfront view.
I know.
I've got to say, I'm just down there. I've got a courtyard.
Australia's a leading combat sports journalist, and he's looking at the car park.
I've come to expect a little more. No, not at all. In Orlando, I think I was overlooking a swamp. So this is an upgrade.
But it's a good week.
It's a great week.
And also, can you grab my teddy, Ash? I want to show this Donald Duck that
the
I
leading
got
Donald Duck
from Disney World
of Australian boxing. So you got this in Orlando, right?
At Disney World Orlando, and Tszyu lost. He got knocked out. So it had a bad omen. So we've got to break the omen this weekend. So I brought Donald Duck.
I should have bought it was the Goofy dog.
And I bought
still got that. My kids
Brendan's
play with that.
kid a Goofy dog, and I got Ash a Simba. Didn't I? Yeah.
So we should have got the crew back together.
I know.
If disaster strikes again, what happens to?
He's being beheaded.
Duck?
I think he's being beheaded.
He's
He's
been thrown into the harbour.
Yes, we're going to break the omen this weekend.
Absolutely, and the circuit is great. We're a good crew of travelling media and fight types. It's a good week.
Nice one. Let's get to the pub.